with your host, Andrew Romanella.
When you play Battle in Mario Kart and you don't turn off any of the items, there are bananas everywhere. I mean, it's like you're losing your balloons because you're slipping on bananas left and right. Bananas everywhere. What's going on, everybody? Hey, welcome into another edition of The Rome Show here on 12ouncesports.com, broadcasting live on YouTube and X. I am your host, Andrew Romanella. We got you for the next 30 minutes and change, and you can get in on the conversation if you want. Head to youtube.com, go to 12OZ Sports, and where the live feed is for The Rome Show, you can comment live. X has it as well. And I'll take a look at the Twitter during the commercial break. If you want to follow the specific show on social media, it's in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. That is The Rome Show 1, The Rome Show, then the number 1. Choose your social media site, Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, all the sites, all The Rome Show 1. Finally, if you miss any part of this show or no, this show is so good, you got to share it with a friend. The Rome Show podcast is available wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search The Rome Show. Last night, I was watching the WNBA. Now, I bring that up for multiple reasons, but really, I have two primary ones today. The first one is I don't do that, okay? I am not a WNBA watcher. There's no negative towards the game. It's not entertaining enough for me. None of that at all. Truthfully, I think the reason why I'm not great at following the WNBA is because there's so much sports connecting at one time during the time period of the start of the WNBA season. You kind of come off of this crazy stretch starting at the Super Bowl, where you have the Super Bowl, all the sports are in play. Then you go down the stretch for hockey and basketball. You got the NCAA March Madness thrown in there. Then you throw in college baseball. Then you throw in Major League Baseball gets started. Then you put all that together with College Baseball World Series, Softball World Series, and the NBA and NHL Finals all coinciding at the same time. So for me, first and foremost, there's just a lot going on when the WNBA season starts. Secondly, I don't know if I have enough room inside of this body to care enough about another team to focus in on them. Okay? So why do I tell you all these things? Because last night I'm flipping through the channels, and now, for as hectic as it was a month ago with how many sports we're watching, is as not hectic as it is now. So I see the Indiana Fever are playing the Golden State Valkyries on NBA TV. And I'm like, you know what? I'm hosting a radio show talking about sports. All I've been hearing about is how the WNBA product is the best it's ever been this season. Caitlin Clark's on the Fever. She has, in the last year and a half for the WNBA, completely changed the landscape of the league now, but also in the future. So I said, you know what? Let's give this a chance here, okay? Let's watch a little bit more than I ever really have. And sure enough, I found myself watching every second of the second half of this game. Now, Golden State ends up kind of slaughtering Indiana like 90-73 or something like that. But I was super entertained by this game, and it made me start to realize the WNBA is in a fantastic place. The WNBA, thanks to the future stars of the league, led by Caitlin Clark out of Iowa in 2024, greatest scorer in NCAA basketball history, who has now brought the most amount of eyeballs that one singular person can to a league. But she's not the only reason to watch. I mean, this basketball game was good. There was ball movement. There were really good offensive plays. There was electric defense. The crowd, it was in Indiana, who is the best crowd in the league right now. The crowd was fantastic. And so right now, it is the best impossible time for the WNBA. And I only have one concern, because having watched that game last night and witnessed over the course of the last year and a half the physicality that has been played on Caitlin Clark. For what reason? Some believe it's jealousy from other players. Some believe it's just the league's always been that physical, but not enough eyes have watched the league. So really, you're not seeing anything outside the ordinary. It's just because it's Caitlin Clark and no one's ever really watched before, all of a sudden it's a problem. While I'm watching this, I'm like, this is great basketball. We just got to figure out, how do they want to officiate these games? Because I think that is now the next most important thing for the WNBA, because you got talent all across the floor. You have eyeballs that want to watch the league. You're making the most amount of money the league has ever made. The most amount of people are watching the league right now. Okay? So you do not want people to start wanting to tune into the WNBA, start wanting to follow a player, start wanting to follow a team, start wanting to follow the league, and you have an inconsistent game from an official standpoint. What do I mean by that? Do you want it to be physical or do you not? Do you want this to feel kind of like the NBA with physicality, especially in the playoffs, or are we going touch foul and we're kind of playing on shattered on glass here? What do you want? Because on some plays, and again, a lot with Caitlin Clark, no defender wants to get beat by presumably the most popular player in the league. There's a pride thing there. But you're watching some of this defense, and even the announcers are like, that's a foul. That's a foul. Or then the next one, it's like, that's not a foul. Like, if you're the WNBA and you're in this moment right now where this is probably the best this league has ever been, this is the best plateau this league has ever been on. This is the best pedestal, this league has ever sat on. You have to make sure that all your ducks are in a row, starting with, what do we want this game to look like? Because I got to be honest, that is my biggest qualm with the National Basketball Association right now. The NBA regular season officiating is so drastically different than the postseason officiating. Sometimes it takes away from the enjoyment of the game you're watching, because the only conversation you can have after is, what did I just witness? Even last week when we were talking about CONCACAF Gold Cup and the handball that was or was not called in the box. Okay. So if I'm the WNBA and I'm in this 2025 moment of real popularity, real financial growth, real league growth, I'm saying to myself, well, we got to get this right now. Because you only have so many windows for people to then decide, I'm good. I get bad officiating from when I watch football, college football, the NHL, the NBA. I get bad officiating when I watch Major League Baseball for 9 innings every night. I don't need to add another league with inconsistent protocol to play. What do I mean by that? What do you want this league to be? You knew what the NBA was in the 70s and 80s. It is a hard-nosed, physical league that you're going to have an insane amount of mental toughness and then physical, legitimate body, physical toughness to play in that league. What was the NHL in the 90s and early 2000s? A heavy hitter league. You weren't 5'6", 5'7", 5'8", 5'9", with wheels and handles and playing necessarily in the NHL. Okay? You had to be able to drop your gloves, take hits, give hits, play an aggressive style of defense, okay? But now, the NHL is speed. The NHL is quickness. The NHL is that. In just 25, 30 years, the league has shape-shifted, okay? But that's what the league needed to continue to garner popularity. Baseball, we talked about it yesterday. The pace of the game is up. Therefore, the viewership is up. Popularity's going up. More stolen bases, more action, okay? 35 years ago, you were pitching one guy 175 pitches, and then 5 days later, he was probably doing it again, or he was probably playing the field, then he was pitching. Everyone was supposed to be Babe Ruth and Shohei Ohtani. Now, again, I don't know what's right. Was that game more fun than this? I don't know, but it's evolution. Okay. And the game's got to keep evolving so the game can take advantage of the moments that are the most important for its long-term sustainability. And that's the WNBA right now. And so if you haven't, start watching. I definitely am now. Okay. Start watching because it's really fun basketball, really electric talent. Like the ladies bring it and they are fun to watch. Okay. And it is trending in the right direction with a lot of good stars to watch. Before we get off this, I thought I'd give the people a little bit of a look at what the WNBA standings are right now. The Minnesota Lynx are above and beyond the best team in the league right now, followed by the Mercury, the New York Liberty, who are the reigning WNBA champions. Then the Atlanta Dream, the Seattle Storm, and the aforementioned Golden State Valkyries. Okay, so you have the top 6 teams in the league at 10-9 or better. If you look at the Indiana Fever, them, the Mystics, and the Las Vegas Aces are all in that middle pack, 7, 8, 9 spot there at 9 and 10. 8 teams make the final of the playoffs for the WNBA. Check it out. It's super enjoyable, and I'm excited to continue to garner some interest in this league. We'll take a quick commercial break. When we get back, DJ LeMahieu, no longer a New York Yankee. Plus, we stay on basketball because I watched a sick documentary on the NBA Summer League yesterday, and it got me thinking. And I want to ask you a few questions, and I want to get your thoughts. The Rome Show, back after this.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them. Yeah. Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right. At 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Yeah, the Rome Show, 12ouncesports.com, broadcasting live on YouTube and X. I'm Andrew Romanella, hosting this show for the last 6.5 to 7 years. I know, crazy, right? It's been a podcast the entire time, the Rome Show podcast, wherever you get your podcast. We were fortunate enough to join the mothership, 12ozsports.com, in January of 2024. So we are in year 2 of our time on the 12 Ounce Sports airways. And I got to tell you, it has been a blast. Okay. At first, when I took this show over from a podcast to live, I didn't really know what to expect. You know, the 5 years leading up to this, it was an iteration of 19 different things. It's always been a podcast. Okay. But I started out as the Dab Sports podcast, Double A Balls podcast, with my brother-in-law's brother. We spent a year and change or more, honestly, as the iteration of that podcast, and then transition into the Rome Show on Hamilton Radio Network. Okay. Another internet-based radio network with which we aired one day a week. It was like Monday nights, I think, from like 7 to 10 or 7 to 9 or some crazy time. Okay. Then we transitioned to Thursdays, same show, same network. Okay. Then we got off of Hamilton airwaves, went back to being a full-time podcast. Rocky Romanella began joining me in these moments. When we were a Thursday night show, he was with me. Okay. And then the show kind of fizzled for a little bit. I don't know, somewhere in the middle of 2023, I think I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with the Rome Show here, and along came 12-ounce sports, and here we are today. I tell you all that just to remind you to support the station, okay? A simple subscribe, a simple share with a friend, a simple share on Facebook when this thing's live in the morning, or a retweet on Twitter. Those are the things that can hopefully keep this thing cooking. And in 10 years, we are sitting here going, it's the 10th anniversary of the Rome Show in the morning, live on 12-ounce sports, the #1 sports network for internet broadcasting in America. I can see it now. But thank you to the people. Share it with a friend. DJ LeMahieu not sharing much with the New York Yankees anymore. He has been DFA'd. If you don't know what that means, that's designated for assignment, i.e. cut by the New York Yankees. The Yankees will owe him $22 million up until the end of 2026. DJ LeMahieu signed a 6-year, $90 million deal before the 2021 season. Why, you might ask, was that the decision by Brian Cashman and the front office? Well, that's because in 2020, DJ LeMahieu hit .364 and was the batting champion of Major League Baseball. If you take a look here at DJ LeMahieu's statistics over the 15-year career, I want you to go all the way to the right side column and you look at batting average. This is the first place we're going to talk about why are we here with DJ LeMahieu. Well, the first is the inconsistencies. The two that are blacked out, 348 in 2016 and 364 in 2020. Those 2 years, he was the batting champion in the National League. That's how good he was. Okay. And in 16, he followed that up with 17, with which he was an all-star and hit .310. Okay. And then over the course of the stretch of 2016 to 2020, DJ LeMahieu was arguably a top 5 hitter in the league. He hit .301 in 15, 348 in 16, 310 in 17, 278 in 18, 327 in 19, and 364 in 20. That's 6 years of being essentially a 310 to 320 hitter. Okay. So if you're the New York Yankees and you're Brian Cashman, I don't think that there was a choice really. Okay. And you look back at that deal and you're going 6 years, 90 million. It's not the worst thing in the world. Well, now I want you to look at the column kind of all the way to your left, the G's, the games played. Okay. Now he's always been an injury bug type dude, but the inconsistency with which games have been able to be played from 2022 and on, not ideal for the New York Yankees. On top of that, the lack of productivity. He hit 100 points less the year after he won the batting title and received the contract from the New York Yankees. He then followed that up with 261, 243 in 120 plus games. And then in the last 2 years has combined to play 120 games and is hitting like 240 in those 2 years. Plus, no range defensively. So Aaron Boone and the New York Yankees make the move to get rid of, to DFA DJ LeMahieu. So now they'll move Jazz Chisholm to second base, which will most likely be the move, and we'll see what happens there. I don't think this is the end of DJ LeMahieu's career per se. But when you're looking at it and you're saying to yourself, this man is 37 years old starting next season. I think the only possibility left really is a designated hitter position. He has been hitting 310 over the last 3.5 weeks. Sad ending for DJ LeMahieu, who I thought for, again, that 6 or 7 year stretch, he was just a pure hitter dude. Like, everyone should want him on their team. Unfortunately, injuries were the derailment. And unfortunately, DJ LeMahieu is no longer a New York Yankee. Finally, I watched a documentary last night. All right. And I didn't even mean to. If you missed the intro to the show, Rome Show Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, if you want to re-listen, or head to youtube.com/12OZ Sports, and you can rewatch there as well. I talked about the WNBA. And I talked about the entertainment value with which the WNBA brought me last night. And the entertainment value and league health with which the WNBA is trending towards. Well, that then led me to a documentary on NBA TV about the NBA Summer League. Started in 2002, not associated with the NBA until 2007. Okay, started as the Las Vegas Summer League. The NBA Summer League has been a league that exists for 2 to 3 weeks in Las Vegas at the start of July, going on right now, where the young players who were just drafted or young players that didn't play a lot in their first year or two in the league can go and continue to get their work in with their organization, oftentimes an opportunity for a guy that might be a G League player or a guy that went undrafted or a guy that's a second round pick and the team doesn't really know what's going to happen with this player. And then for the best players in the league, the top 10 picks, top 20 picks, the picks that are Kevin Durant, first overall to the Seattle Supersonics, right? Steph Curry out of Davidson to Golden State. All of those players now get a minute taste of the NBA in the summer. They can make their mistakes. They can be too small. They could have to adjust a lot about their game because they realize though they were a top draft pick, they have to shapeshift a little bit to be great in the league. And it's a genius concept. Well, I'm watching this documentary last time. I'm saying to myself, why are not other leagues doing this? Because think about the benefit of having a summer league, okay? You can test rules. Every rule change you've seen in the NBA during the NBA season has been tested in the NBA Summer League. You can work on technology, okay? I know that there's been some work on a challenge system for basketball, and that's gone through the NBA Summer League. Officials. We're out here talking about how bad officials are. Well, we can go get officials real training during the NBA Summer League. And how about coaches? Becky Hammond, great example. In 2015, Greg Popovich made her the first lady to head coach an NBA Summer League team. She won the Summer League with the Spurs that summer, then went on to now be one of, if not already, the best coach in history of the WNBA, having won back-to-back titles in Las Vegas in 2021 and 2022. Okay. All of these things happened in the NBA Summer League. So I started thinking to myself, why are other leagues not doing this? Okay. I mean, you get drafted in football in April, and they do the mini camps and they do this and they do that. But it's like, well, maybe we should put on a spring football league for the NFL. Maybe that's a good idea. Maybe instead of doing mini camps and OTAs and non-necessary OTAs, necessary OTAs, OTAs at the beach, OTAs at the facility, do a 4-week, May 15th to June 15th summer league. You know, maybe that's the answer. Major League Baseball has winter leagues, but none of them are associated with the MLB. And I tell you all this to finish with this. Think about the popularity in the NBA over the last 25 years. Well, why do you think that is? Because there's nothing going on right now. So why wouldn't I tune in randomly at 5 o'clock on a Wednesday to see the number 1 overall NBA pick and if he'll be anything good? It's like a glimpse behind the curtain of the show before the show has even made everyone sit down in their seats, right? So I just realized last night how genius the NBA has become under Adam Silver, how the marketing has increased, how the talent has increased, how the finances have increased. I mean, you got dudes like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander essentially making $1 million a game. Well, you know what? There's no coincidence in the NBA putting their name on the Las Vegas Summer League in 2007, beginning to showcase their talent as early as possible. And then that coincides with the most popular time for the league to date. Genius out of the NBA from all different angles. I would wonder if other leagues would look at something like this. Now, I think the issue with football is the injury concerns. I think the issue with hockey is similar. And I think the issue with baseball is winter leagues already exist. Okay? Well, if I'm baseball, I go buy one of those. Exactly what the NBA did. This Las Vegas Summer League's been going on for 5 years. What is this? I don't know. Let's put our name on it, though, because it's only going to help our league grow. Hey, I put my name on the Rome Show every single day because we're trying to make this show grow. So share it with a friend, put it up on your social media, subscribe to it, whatever you can to support the show. We appreciate you. Back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. to give everybody what they should be watching this weekend. And of course, to talk to you about what's on my mind. Thank you to those who listen on a daily basis. I am Andrew Romanella. You have an electric July 10th. And until tomorrow, this is me saying peace.
Thank you for listening.